think that similar objectives in different parts of the city to, say, a subway along the Shepherd corridor versus the surface LRT being contemplated. Again, no revenues. It's not a conversation that I'm going to take seriously. We have to address, if we're talking about electrification, we should also be talking about revenues, because the cost of doing that is considerably more expensive. I'm not saying it's not something we shouldn't do, but it's something that we have to figure out how to fund, not just ask for.
Whatever that system may be, and I agree that it has to be, how are we going to pay for it? Because we have to be responsible in putting that forward as well.
It's important that we remember that transit solutions, bus solutions for example, Go Rail is another example. A lot of those rely on an infrastructure that's really a diesel infrastructure. And at the same time, it's a very effective way of delivering thousands and thousands of people more efficiently, more environmentally sensitively than the alternative of having them drive in their cars, for example. So I think you need to come up with what is the right solution. Electrification plays a significant role in this region now, and I think it's going to play a bigger role in the future.
And if we're looking for a lot of revenue to fund transit, then why aren't we actually digging into something like the vehicle registration tax? The $60 vehicle registration tax was brought in $60 million. That's, you know, if we were to bring the user pay for the automobility up to the degree of Go Transit and the TTC, we'd have that $2 billion, would we not?
We felt that for a potential road user charge, that the two I mentioned would be more effective than a vehicle registration tax.
Yeah, anyone on the Lakeshore West Line loves to come into the city to work, and they even want to stay to, you know, take in a drink with their peers or whatnot, and maybe they have active lives, such as myself in the artist community here in Toronto, but they're always watching the clock. So I'm just wondering if there are any immediate plans, or any plans whatsoever, to run anything 24 hours.
Well, in order to support that lifestyle, there needs to be transit that is accessible and that really is there when people want and need to use it. And we also see a trend with people moving into more densely populated urban centers because they are seeking that lifestyle. So I think that we have to think about that as we're thinking about our investments and as we're doing our planning, and our particularly on a future growth projection population basis. So I think what you're asking for, perhaps we're not geared to doing that now, but it's not out of the realm of possible as we think about the type of system we want into the future.
Why not build, for example, a tunnel from Park Lawn all the way around to Don Valley, and let the private sector finance it? This is the hottest real estate in the world. We're going to get international tender, and I'm sure we'll get the best bids.
Is how does a potential election within the next, say, 6 months affect the urgency of finding funding options for this? Because, you know, that tends to delay the process. So,
But this, I think, should be the election where we put collectively this issue in the forefront of the public's mind, so that this issue is very much, this election is very much going to be weighing the three political parties' options, particularly, as I've said many times, on the how you're going to pay for it.
When you're going back out into that world, please think about influencing and telling everyone you know about the need to finance revenue for different revenue tools for transit.